Okay, so onwards to this guy's house. So I think this whole area is just trying to give me a flavour for the rest of the game. The quests and the choices. This house looks the same as all of the other houses I've been in.
I would like to have a word with Sir Fontaine.
He is absent, but the lady of the house could certainly receive you. Enter, please.
Thank you.
Oh, I know you. I've seen you at court. You are Lord de Sade. And to what do I owe the honor of your visit, Excellency?
I would like to have a word with your husband.
He is not here, but perhaps I could be of help.
It concerns a delicate matter. We're looking for a missing cabin boy. According to witnesses, he had an argument with your husband before being taken.
I see. I am afraid that you have been misled. You seem to have come to the wrong conclusion. The cabin boy you speak of was not taken. He has simply returned home.
Excuse me, but I'm not sure I understand.
Don't you see, Your Excellency? We got our son back.
I am very surprised. Several witnesses confirmed that your son had a fight with your husband, and that his men escorted him from the tavern using force. If he had joined your husband willingly...
Witnesses? In a tavern? And you choose to believe these drunkards over a respectable family?
These witnesses are all in agreement, and it's their testimonies that have led me to your doorstep.
My son
I'm
was
turning
probably
into a lawyer.
shocked to have found us. My husband and the other men might have simply had to carry him. A gesture that your drunkards must have misunderstood.
What was your son doing on a Naut ship? Why would they have taken him?
It is what they do. Through pacts and contracts, they steal away young children from their mothers.
What are you talking about?
I would have thought that a legate would know
Hey,
these
what did you call me?
But it is
Just
true
sounds
that you
rude.
are young and inexperienced. It seems that you have been protected from the turpitudes of our own nation and their terrible allies. This horrible, constant ransoming that they put us through. But I will not say another word. You will have no trouble verifying the details now that you know what to look for.
Where might I find your son now?
I cannot say, Excellency. You must understand why. Until the Nauts have set sail, we live in fear they will take him back from us.
This pact? It sounds like some fear-inducing story.
The Nauts wouldn't be the first to recruit through dubious means.
Okay, so there's some kind of messed up child slave contract. And I think I'm gonna need to ask the captain about it.
The merchant is there.
Sir, you still haven't found your cousin. As you well know, we cannot leave without him.
Have no fear. I will bring him back in time to make our scheduled departure. Is everything ready?
I'm still without news of my cabin boy, but we will have to do without.
Okay,
I
here we
spoke with
go.
a woman who told me she was the mother of the cabin boy. She claims that her son was taken from her.
Taken? Her son is sea-gifted. His parents were required to give him up to honor the terms of a contract.
A contract? But what kind of contract are we speaking of?
A commercial contract. In exchange for services rendered by the Nauts, some families cede more than gold. In some cases, nations even trade some of their subjects before they're born. I wouldn't
So
be able
they
to tell you the
sold
condition of
their
Jonas's
son to them.
contract. I didn't even know he was originally from Serene. But what I can tell you is the young man hasn't seen his parents since he was a small child, and ever since, he's been a naught. Our ships are his home, and we are his only family.
Be back soon, Captain.
You see anyone else who might be able to help us? Anyone who's not a Naut?
Sir de Corsillion's a veritable well of scientific knowledge. He could tell us a little more.
Okay, back the way we came.
But I still don't see Constantine at your side. I hope he hasn't been the victim of any foul
Wow,
play.
that voice.
Don't worry. We'll find him in time for departure.
I
So
certainly hope so.
velvety.
Would you be in need of my help in any way?
I've had a word with Lady Fontaine. You must know her. That rich family that lives near the docks. She told me a strange story about her son who was a cabin boy on our ship. She said that he was taken when he was a child due to some contract with the Nords.
Who was a cabin boy? Do you mean he's no longer one?
They took him back to bring him home.
Well, that is very unpleasant news, de Sade. We need to do all we can to bring the boy back to his ship. Since time immemorial, there has always been a certain price to pay for the services of the Nords. Children born on their ships belong to them. It's the rule of the sea. But certain contracts are so important that they also require children to be offered in exchange. From time to time, the congregation has passed such accord, and certain noble families had to give their children up.
Are you telling me that the Fontaines lost their son because of some agreement signed between my uncle and the Nords?
No. That pact ended a long time ago. This cabin boy couldn't have been a part of that contract. But Sir Fontaine has made a fortune trading with the Alliance, via ships.
Do you mean he would have offered up his own son in exchange for wealth?
Well, he probably did it before the birth of the child, and regretted it afterwards. But that is of little importance. What counts most is that you bring the boy back to the Nords as quickly as possible. Breaking a contract with the seafarers has always cost us dearly. Our nation could feel it in its coffers.
I will do my
Coffers.
A father selling his own son for a
Yeah,
few
selling your own
gold
son is
lads.
pretty
For ugly,
messed up.
That is ugly.
best. Lady Fontaine didn't seem to have any knowledge of that detail. That could be of use to us.
They sold him to the Nauts, or pirates, essentially. Then they had buy or seller's remorse. And now they've kidnapped him and are keeping him prisoner. Sounds a lot like my upbringing. Let's see what she has to say about this.
Excuse me, madam, but I haven't quite finished my inquiry yet.
If you would be so courteous, I would like you to leave. I have told you all that I have to say.
How rude. Yeah, threaten her.
Come on now, stop lying. Jonas was taken away by force against his will by armed men.
That is not true. Completely false.
Enough! With every word, you are a step closer to a prison cell.
Ooh,
Prison? But what would be the charges?
Kidnapping.
yeah.
Whether Jonas is your son or not, he is a naught that you kidnapped and locked up. In the eyes of the prince, you have committed a crime that puts the interests of the congregation at great risk.
I beg of you, Your Excellency. Have mercy
Reputation
on the poor mother
-1
who's looking only
with the
to recover
congregation.
her child. We didn't kidnap our own son. And if you need to speak with him to be convinced, please do. He's in our warehouse, near the Coin Guard Plaza, next to the canal.
Okay,
I am
so that
certain
worked.
Once you have heard his account, you will see the tragedy in our predicament and help us.
I regret threatening that woman.
You
No, I
didn't have a
don't.
choice. She was lying, and we need to find that boy.
Yeah, if I have the option to threaten people in this game, I'll consider it. Depends on the circumstance. Okay, so now we know where our boy is. Not sure how this release is gonna go. I'm guessing they won't let him go without a fight. So the graphics in this game aren't like amazing compared to the other games that are out there. But for what the game is, it works. And it looks good for what they have to work with, if that makes any sense.
Are your boots worn through? Is your hat out of style?
The cabin boy is in here apparently.
Here we are. Be careful. Fontaine won't be alone.
Oh yeah?
He'll have his henchmen with him.
Let's just try to remain discreet.
Nah. As a wise man once said, I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
Sir de Sade,
Here we go.
what are you doing here?
I've come looking for your son. The Naughts are worried about his disappearance.
Those Naughts took him from us, but now we've got him back, and he'll be staying with us.
Would you be so kind as to hear what I have to say, Sir Fontaine?
Let's try to be diplomatic
You've
first.
taken your son against his will and have him locked up like merchandise in a warehouse. Is that what you call being a good father?
As if you would know what it
Okay,
is like to
so
be a
that
parent.
failed.
You are far too young to understand the way we feel.
Well, I tried.
I will not leave
I
here
guess
without
I'll
your
need
son.
to kill some
You will
people
deliver
now.
him to me willingly or forced.
I will not be letting that happen. To me, my gods!
Bring it
You
on.
will not take my son from me!
So, I know I probably could have resolved this peacefully,
Death to the others!
but I kind of wanted to kill him.
Things are about to get dicey. Come on. See what you're capable of.
I'm sure this won't be very good for our reputation. Probably not the right thing to do. But I did get experience points in my defense. Yeah, sorry kid, I kind of just killed your dad. Hope you don't mind too much.
My name is de Sade. I am legate of the congregation. Your captain has sent me to find you.
And were you able to convince my father to allow me to go free?
Yeah,
I'm extremely sorry to have to tell you this,
Oh.
Jonas. He preferred to fight to the death rather than allow you to leave. He left me no
That's
choice.
right, it was his fault. I didn't want to.
How tragic.
He made me do it.
The poor man. What madness overcame him? And the woman, my mother. She'll be all alone now.
You don't seem to be all that close to your parents.
I hadn't seen them
So you
since
don't
I was
mind?
5 years old. I barely remember them. They find me, capture me, and lock me up in this warehouse.
Oh, they deserve to
Hard
be
to grow
killed.
close after all that. My family is the Naughts. I am sorry for my parents, but that is the way of it now. Can I go home?
Yes. You should still go and say farewell to your mother. Then find your way to the ship. I'll see
So
you
he
there.
took that pretty well. His dad being murdered. I mean, killed in self-defense.